Okay, this just adds to the weirdness. Look at this light coming through here, this one coming through here. Like, what the fuck? And I have the door open. We've been locked in the house all morning for a standoff behind my house. And uh, so Stella has been having a bitch fit. And she's outside. I'll tell you, it was so crazy. This morning is crazy. All morning. And I have like this weird energy. I kept feeling like this energy, like look at these lights. Like this is so weird. I kept feeling this weird energy and whatnot. And so I've just been busy in there cooking and cooking and cooking. It's like weird. I'm glad I had this so much distraction to do all this cooking. It's like, fuck, man. I feel like I've done all my cooking for next week. All I got to do is get stuff out and I'm good. I don't have to do very much stuff at all. And so I've just been busy focusing on that. So I'm in the kitchen, which that makes my back to the window. And I turn around. I don't know. I think Stella was bitching to go out or something. I turn around. There's two cops. There's a white, like the regular patrol looking. Well, we have SUVs here, but some big SUV white cop car with the sirens going next to a dark one with the sirens going, and there's just sitting there blocking the road, like right. It's not right in front of my house. No, that's the postman though. It's not right in front of my house. It was like at the my neighbors, like in between. But still, when I turned around, I was like, oh fuck, are they here for me? Like what the fuck? So I'm like trying to look out and see like what's going on. And I start messaging the neighbor because she's on all that the neighborhood watch stuff. And so I started asking her what's going on. She wasn't answering. She wasn't answering. So I start trying to get Stella to come back in the bedroom with me. And I was like, well, if they're coming for me, I'm just going to hide out back here. I'm not going to go out there. If they're coming to serve me or something, they can stick in the goddamn mail. Like, what the fuck? Have fucking big drama. And so anyways, I just figured they would think, oh, well, she's not home or something. And but then I went and looked out back, and in there, so my yard goes up, and then there's this thing called a green belt, where it's like this space between the next person's yard. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a little park in between. So then there's my yard, then the green belt, then the people behind me, their yard, in their house, and then their circle. So they live on a circle, but we share a backyard. And then the people next to them, we don't really share any. I mean, they're on the green belt too, but they're not as up against mine. It's not up against it, like it's farther over. But anyways, so there was some cop cars back there, and you could see all the cops out. And so then I was like, looks like a standoff is going on. So I'm texting the neighbor again. What's happening? Is anybody talking about it? And she was in the shower. She didn't even know until she got out, and I'd already sent a bunch of messages. I was sending videos showing her there's cops everywhere. And she had messaged me because I had already gone out walking, and it was already a weird thing because the neighbor started a burn pile. It's a burn ban. He started a burn pile. There's so much smoke. So we got all this smoke going. He goes off and leaves his burn pile. So she's talking about like, that's totally illegal what he's done. So apparently then she went and got in the shower. I start cooking. I turn around and there is cops everywhere. Just like boom, that fast. So I was asking her and stuff. And so once she had seen it, she started talking to her friend who lives next door to the house that was being standoffed or whatever. And so she was getting more of the story, which to me, the story is just, there's weird stuff. So the people back there who she knows, they said that the neighbor who lives there, the house looks like a hoarder house, like a dump, like they've got like tarps and stuff. Like it looks crazy. I don't ever go back there. I always get creeped out. Just because when you're going off the road, you turn and you go back and there's a circle. Then you go from that circle back into a further circle. I don't know. It just seems like you're getting back there. And I had ridden my bike back there before. And I'm sure this must be the house. because it was a weird house. It wasn't anything like it is now. Now it's got camper out front that has, like, it looks like a total weird druggy hoarder house or something. And so the neighbors who are regular people, you know, are complaining about this house. And there's people going all night and all day. And the guy who lives there stays stays outside up all night working on cars and making a whole bunch of noise. And then if anybody says anything, he threatens them and gets mad. And then apparently he even goes on Facebook and complains because he gets in trouble by the HOA all the time. So then she's thinking that they're getting arrested because they've been making all these complaints against them. And so the and this is like a few different people's conversations, so I still don't know what the hell. So she's saying that she thought that was what was going on. Well, I could hear the cops talking over the speaker, and apparently too she had seen that they had already taken 3 women in handcuffs. So I don't know if they were in the camper or what the hell, because they were already gone, but they were having a standoff in the house and they wouldn't open the door. And so the cops were out there on the speaker, you know, all out behind their cars, like for shelter. And I keep thinking, fuck, is this guy got a bomb? Are they going to go in there and storm it and the bombs are going to start going off? And so so they're standing out and they're hollering up there. And so then I guess the cops went into her friend's house, and then they started saying that the people who lived there had left on vacation or something. These other people showed up, which this is just getting so strange. So these other people show up and just start all living there. And like the night that the people left, and more people coming and coming and coming, which I still don't see. Like, if the neighbors didn't even know that, then how would the cops like know about it? Like, and so, and they're saying we've got a warrant to search the house. That's what they're saying over the speaker. And so, and then they start calling some people by name, and which I don't know if that's the homeowners. I don't know if it's these other people. I don't know if these are their friends. Supposedly the one guy, because one guy got arrested and then a bunch of girls, that he was friends with the guy who lives there. But the weird thing is on that too, is when the whole thing first started, the girl, because she was getting their, I don't know, their doorbell footage or something, and it showed a car come pulling up real fast, a guy jump out of the car and go running up and go into the house, and then the cops all start coming. So it's like, okay, so they chased him down and then he came here? Like, because they're all situated. I mean, we got cops doing a whole, like, grid thing around here. Like, and they've got a warrant. How would they have a warrant for a house on a chase? Like, that's weird. And why would he come there? Like, if he was being chased? Like, I don't know. And why would you have, like, the fucking standoff was hours. Like, we were in here for hours. It just finished, like, at 12:30 or something. It's like 1:15 now. I have a headache, man. Everything seems really intense. So why would they have a warrant for house for somebody they were chasing? And why would all these people be in this house? Why does this house look like a fucking... and then there's supposedly something about weapons. So I don't know. I think there's more to the story. And the people who live there, the guy who stays up all night, then his wife's a nurse who works at the hospital. I'm telling you, you gotta watch out. And so he is quiet during the daytime so she can sleep. Then he stays up all night so the neighbors can't sleep. So, but then they supposedly left and went on vacation. But then why would there be a warrant? Why would they be coming to do a warrant? I mean, there's just, the whole thing is weird. Like, I don't know. And I would think also for how long they stood out there, on the speaker telling him you have to open the door, come out with your hands up, and all that over and over and over for so long. It's like if it was on drugs, wouldn't he just flush them all by now and just come out? Like, why would you go to all this? Like, this has got to be way more serious charges. Like, there was a lot of cops. I think there's like SWAT guys out there. So it's a lot of fucking drama for drugs. Like, I don't know. I think there's got to be something shadier going on. The fact that there was a bunch of women in all the crimes, with involving women, because there's big money in women getting pregnant and just selling. I mean, there's going to be some horrible shit we're going to have to hear about. Because I've already seen it about it. Like, there's women who just, they make babies and sell the babies. And I don't know that all the women do. I know that there is some that do, but some, it's like they don't have a choice. So, and I don't know if these women were all English speaking. I don't know anything about it because I was back here. And so the neighbor said she's going to see if she can find out more from the other one. But, I mean, they're still back there. All the cops are back there. Probably search. I don't even know. How would you search that house? It fucking looks like a hoarder house. And then it's also like, is there booby traps? Like, is it going to start having explosions back there? Like, it's got to be something with weapons. You know that. The cops were not going up there. They were staying back with all their weapons out. They had big rifles out and shit. At one point, I saw a guy going around, and I thought, is this a sniper? Are they setting up for a sniper? Like, what the fuck? It seemed really intense, man. So, anyways, there's been that drama all morning. And then I went on to go look on TikTok to see if I could see if anything was happening or whatever. And everybody is just kind of in meltdown mode because the TikTok's ban has gone through and they're sneaking it in through foreign policy. The whole thing is just drama. I mean, Joe, Joe was talking about his uncle getting eaten and stuff like that. And the one journalist who must be there to keep causing things to be talked about or something. And what's her name? The press secretary. Their conversation, that was funny. Some of these conversations just crack me up, but I'm sure they're scary to people who don't know what's going on, but some of it is absurd. It's so motherfucking absurd. It's just, and I feel bad, because I know it's very serious to some people, but come on, like, this is wild. And so, and then they're sitting there, all these people are paying attention because there's something about Trump's on trial or something. So supposedly the guy who went out and torched himself did it in front of the trial thing to make a point. And I am definitely seeing things all the time. I don't know if my eyes are shifting in vibration or what, but fuck, I keep seeing things. Can't say that in public. Fucking got auditory and visual hallucinations. Lock them up. So anyways, he let me think where I was. So, there was something yesterday too that I skipped. Oh, when I was explaining about the implant thing, because it's the thing that goes around them. He said it's kind of sticky, and so that is what I'm trying to get to adhere to itself. Is the muscle is going to have like a sticky point on each side, and that's why I'm going to wear this thing to press it so I don't have to keep from lifting my arms and stuff, is to try and get it to glue down, kind of, basically. But the other thing I was talking about was criminals, crime. Somebody was not talking about that guy anymore, I don't think. There was something else. Oh yeah, it was oh yeah. Okay, so for one thing, the whole torched situation seems like an Anne Heche thing. Like, you know, she was supposedly all burned up, and then they have her going out in the body bag, and she sits up, her hair's fine, there's nothing wrong with her, and they push her back down, shove her in the thing. So apparently, yeah, he had set himself a torch, and then they just go and pick him up and stuff. It's like everything would be falling off of him. His hair was good, he wasn't black, all this stuff. It's like, so I don't know if they put him in a suit. Plus, I said about that reporter, it was wild. Go look over there, look, hey, there's a guy on fire. Like, what the fuck? And so so there's a whole thing, and it seems to be drawing attention to his manifesto, which people are saying this manifesto isn't just a manifesto. It fucking tells everything. It's disclosure. So his release of information, and that would be funny, you know, if the White Hat's doing this big drama and put him in a fire suit and cause this big whole thing. And so everybody was talking about that. But there was people who, I guess on Twitter, you could see some of the footage of him getting taken away, and there was medical people who were saying, there's no way. So I didn't see it, but I'm sure I would have been saying, like, no way. And so anyways, that's what you got to question. Like, you have professionals in different organizations, and then we can all look at different things. Like, there's all different people. It's not just medical. I mean, there's truckers that see things going on in something, and like there's all different people who notice things off when you start listening to the people who do these jobs and stuff. And so there's a lot of stuff off on, and then just the whole thing of like, why would you do that? Like, torch yourself in the name of freedom? Like, what? That's extreme. Like, that's a real extreme. And then, though, I saw these people talking about, like, so Trump's in court, but he can't stay awake. He keeps falling asleep, apparently, and farting, and he's just gassing up the whole place, and it's disgusting. Everybody's trying to get away from him. And I was just like, is this what they have to resort to talk about Trump passing gas in order to get attention on something? Like, what the fuck? So I don't know. I feel like everything is just going to continue to be so absurd. Just like, you know, they have all these people here just outraged about immigration and all these illegals. And so Mexico fired back, and they're like, well, guess what we're going to do? All you Americans, get the fuck on out of here. And so they start deporting, and they're putting out the stats and stuff and how much it hurts their economy. Now we just go there, we don't pay taxes, we just all the things, you know, the same things that people complain about here, that people go from here and go there and do the same thing. And so I was like, man, this is where the people are going to start finding their feet in their mouth. And a lot of people, even when they find their feet in their mouth, even when this information comes out, not all of them will click it in. A lot of them will just fight back. They'll just dig in deeper. Well, it's something about this. Well, it's, you know, come up with something to be mad about. So, you know, this is for them to process through however long it takes them. But as things get worse and worse and more absurd, don't blame it on them. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to go out and get them all. You know, no, I mean, but that is why. Because the people are so indoctrinated, so programmed, so mind controlled, that, you know, things just go by them, or they fight against the information or whatever. And but with all this weird energy around, like, how the hell can you not? Like, what the fuck? This is so weird. And so anyways, but that is when things keep dragging. Don't get all caught up in thinking like, oh my god, this is real. No, this is just gonna keep going until, you know, a big thing, it really just knocks everybody's socks off. And but that is the thing, is like these little things will wake some people up. Some people will start being like, yeah, really, God, that's right. Because everything is going to go towards no more government, no more immigration law. Like, we're going to go towards freedom. Just us getting to be free human beings. Just whatever the fuck you want to call us. If they don't want to call us human anymore, I don't give a fuck what they fucking say. It doesn't matter. I'm a living being. I'm a conscious, eternal living being. And I'm here on a fucking visa. I'm here for a short time. I got shit to do, and fuck this bullshit. And I can't wait until it fucking is, you know, dissipates, until it's gone. This energy is gone. So then we can really get to living our lives with all the lessons that we've learned, because that's what all this is about. This is about transformation. This is about us learning and growing and stuff. This isn't just trauma and more stuff that we had to have happen to us because we're rotten or something. No, these are all opportunities of growth and expansion. And so all the things that we're learning through this is to help us to expand, to make a better world so that we feel better about ourselves. We treat each other better. You know, we have a more productive life. Hold on. Oh my God. So smoky. So smoky, and there's so much pollen. Oh my God. And I was out there doing something to, because when the cops were all out there and stuff, I had my car doors open trying to dry it out. I gotta keep checking what's driving by. So my car doors were open, and whatever I was gonna say, car was open, and I was going to, it had to be open through the whole standoff, and I kept on feeling like, God, I gotta just run out there and shut the door. But I don't want to be running through there and they think that the person's escaping through the back and start shooting. Like, I didn't hear him telling us to stay in our house, but she was saying that that's what that was saying, that for us to stay in our houses. And then plus it was blocked right here. But I was seeing people drive by, a couple people, so I kept thinking, well, they must be in a different part, and then they just were going down the road or something. But I guess if he was going to go back here through this green belt and come up through our houses, and so they blocked him over here because he had nowhere else to go except for this way. So I don't know, the whole thing is so weird. Like, why would you keep in there for so long and make things so much worse? Why wouldn't you just come out and face the punishment or whatever the fuck? But I don't know. Seems like it's way worse stuff than just drugs, unless it's like maybe it's a cookhouse or something. And they were, I don't know. Still to me, because even at a cookhouse, then they worry about them exploding, and they worry about like the drugs being all disposed of. Like, I would think they would have just kicked it in if it was just like, oh, it's drugs, let's just kick in the doors and start shooting them or whatever. I don't know. The whole thing seems weird to me. And who knows, like, what all stuff we even gonna find out. But now it makes, because I was thinking, oh, I should leave Stella out while I'm gone. But now it's like, hell no. Jesus, she would have been back there barking and barking. She got herself shot or something. I'm like, no, I want her to stay in. And then it freaks me out because the fire hazard thing. It's like, God, I just can't wait until I get home from Tuesday. I can't wait until I get there and get home. And I'm sure it's all going to be fine. I'm sure I'm just going to breeze down there. Even if the damn hazard lights come on a couple times, I'm sure I'll just get down there, I'll go in, get my procedure, head home, get here, and it will be pretty unremarkable. And everything will be fine. And I just can't wait until that, until I'm to that part, until all that part is over. And I'm home, safe and sound. And then all I got to do is deal with the drains, and that's only for a couple days. And then I just got to keep on doing the binding thing. Oh no, they said for like 6 weeks. So I feel like, I'll heal faster than that, but I'm not going to push myself. I'm going to go start doing my weights or something like that. And then there was another thing that was coming into my head. Oh, but on TikTok now, everybody's freaking out because they think TikTok's going to be banned. I have this thing now, this chair in front of me, and the leg sticks out. That's why I keep sitting like this, because I've got my feet on this chair, because it's a bench thing, and the seat is further back. And so I would be sitting way back like this, which may be fine, but I always feel like I got to be up here talking. Like, did you hear what I said? I don't know why. Just feels like, I think I'm probably like that. Like if you're sitting next to me, I think I'm like, yes. What? I'm getting very excited about it. Um, but yeah, one thing is like to me is I never felt sure that TikTok was going to be around. Like a lot of stuff with social media, like there's a lot of people who have just, they're really focused on that part. And, and part of it too, you got to look at it as that is you're being pushed. Stop putting your energy into that. Like I know some people are leaving and coming over to YouTube, which to me it seems a lot more of a safer place to be putting your content, especially because it's not just social media. Like it's not really social media. The only people you even talk to on here are if it's on your in the comments somewhere on somebody's video, and you socialize there and build community, but it's not the same thing as just, I don't know. There's a different energy, like to Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. Even TikTok, even though it started having a lot more informative videos, so many of the people sold out to the creator thing. And then the creator, whatever it's called, their creator program. So if you wanted to make money off of them, to join their creator program. And I would never do it. And they want you to do commercials and sell stuff all the time and use product. Like they'll send you all these free products for you to check, and then you just got to do commercials on them, and then you get money for everybody. Like the whole thing is just to try and draw people in, so people think, oh look, I can not go to work, I can just do this. But you know, like that one girl, her account was taken while she was sick. Like a lot of the shady shit keeps going. But I had heard TikTok was shady like that a long time ago. So and then they get the people all in this creator fund thing, whatever the fuck. And then when they put out the new rules, which now, because they were 2 days ago, there was these new rules that were coming out, and it was going to be TikTok's new updated thing. And if you were a content creator, you couldn't talk about anything. Like you can't talk, like they've got a list of stuff you're not allowed to speak about. So to me, I was like, they got a lot of people who, I don't know, were trying to leave the system, break free, thought that that was the avenue to go towards, but it was just going towards more control. Like, I don't know why people can't see some of this shady shit. Why they look at it and think like, oh, there's the answer. And I look at it and I'm like, ah, that's not, So then them to come back with that shows like that's another thing about the awakening. So, you know, do you pick money or do you pick speaking your truth? And this is like third chakra. Remember, this is the moving up from the lower chakras. You have to go into the heart chakra, you have to go into the throat chakra and the crown chakra. And in the heart chakra is where you have to connect and have empathy, you know, have understanding for other people and what they go through and their trauma, and not be so hateful and judgmental towards people, to have compassion and caring. And so that has to do with your heart. So all those different things that are coming up in the world to activate that area inside of you, your heart, to make you care and compassionate and loving. And I mean, you have to face yourself. But it is, you know, that's about your heart chakra. Then your throat chakra has to do with you speaking your truth, being honest, being forthright, being authentic, being, you know, it's all about being real and setting boundaries and stuff. And the and those are all being pushed right now too, all of the stuff. But that also shows you, like, do you pick integrity? Do you pick to speak your truth, or do you shut yourself up for a couple of bucks? And that is what a lot of these people are going to have to face. They're going to have to face that. I've already seen one guy, and he said, well, I'm just going to keep doing commercials because they take my videos down anyways. You know, and I don't know his life, so I can't say, well, that's stupid. It's his journey. It's his, everybody is on their own journey and their own lessons. I mean, whatever, you know, Whatever is theirs is theirs. It's not for me to run around and be like, yeah, but what about this? We should do that. Well, you're going to do this. I don't know their soul story. I can just see an overall situation. And then the crown chakra is when you start connecting, and you have to be like really open. Like to me, I said it felt like all of a sudden there was like a party in my head, and it was like fucking loud all the time. So, and everybody's going to be different. I mean, some people who have been very focused on the 3D, they could have been super visual and constantly like thinking, and now to go and find that places of peace and stuff, and just opening your mind more. Like it's at all different levels. And so whatever your level is, it will be something you'll feel different in your mind, more open, more willing to look at things. You might be when you start being more psychic and you can hear more, your telepathy starts, like visions, you start getting visions, you start hearing voices, like it can be a lot of different things. So that is more when your crown chakra is opening. But that is as your kundalini is rising. That is as you pull yourself out of the lower chakra and out of the sacral and the root, where you're holding all your pain and trauma. And that is where you stay in the three-dimensional, just reactive, NPC kind of lifestyle, where you don't stop and think for yourself. You're just going on autopilot, running around doing this and doing that, because you're just doing what you think you need to do. And that is why I'm always saying, stop and ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? What am I supposed to do about it? Like, just question yourself more and be more aware of yourself. There was something about, and there was something that was coming in my head. Okay, so people all freaking out about fucking TikTok ban, which was like, you got to be better prepared. I just can't even believe this one girl, because she and I were both like, I don't know, we were talking kind of when I had my account. When we were both kind of like at the same place, and we were talking, and she thought we were on like the same kind of level of our understanding. But then she started saying more stuff, and I was like, no, we're not at all. And so, I don't know. I think my TikTok kicks off people, off of like people who I think I'm following, and I'm not following them and stuff. So, anyways, I wasn't following her anymore, so I hadn't seen her stuff. And then but there's so many people. Like, there's so many people who I hadn't seen in so long. And you don't know if like their accounts go down, they start a new account. Like, it's just sometimes it's chaotic. I think it seems hard to just try and keep up with certain people unless you see them all the time. And so she so I hadn't seen her, and our accounts were about the same. So then the other day I saw her thing, and hers was like almost $100,000. It had gone way up. And I was like, man, how the fuck did that happen? Like, what the hell was she talking about? And but I saw her yesterday, I think, and she was so excited because now they were giving her the opportunity to do 60-minute videos. And I'm thinking, 60-minute video? Because I saw someone else talking about it too. And they were like, man, I don't know. But she was all jacked about it. She was felt like, like she's getting a special treatment or something. I'm thinking, who on TikTok, they can barely get through 60 seconds? You're going to try and put on 60 minutes? Like, what? It's like they all think that they're going to get some money or something. And another girl, she was asking me something because there's all this drama going on. I guess there's a lot of people like, well, where should we go? What should we do? Or whatever. And this other girl, she was asking me something. And I said, I'm to do YouTube. And that is, I think it's the more safer one. I feel like it's going to stay around just because it has to do with education, and it has to do with people really being independent workers. Like, And I said, I think it rather than being on some sort of creator account, to me, it's way more about, building up your, like if you make something, like it's yours and there's no middleman. Well, they're trying to set it up so you have a middleman. But when you are, like, if you're on YouTube, when, there's a bunch of musicians and then they do videos teaching kids how to play music. Well, even once you even build up a thing, a lot of them make money off their videos anyways. But I mean, for different people, you can get like speaking engagements, you can get book deals, like there's other things that you can get besides just marketing somebody else's uh, stuff. And another thing too that was going on over there is that a lot of the stuff was not people's stuff that they made. It was just them selling stuff from China. And some of this stuff was knockoffs. China's notorious for making knockoffs. And these people were selling them like it was the real thing or something. And so, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on the whole thing, and there's going to be a lot of lessons about business and money and integrity and morals and all that, because that is what we're here, expanding on, learning about, making changes to. So those are all involved kind of with the lessons that are going on. So, but, when you come on to here and you're trying to share your information, then, like I haven't even edited. I've still my book I can do. Like there's a lot of stuff. Like even if they, never let me into their creator fund thing, because I don't want to go into it if it's just going to add commercials. They're just, the whole thing is just so they can add commercials. And somebody told me that when they watch me, commercials split through, which there shouldn't be any commercials because I'm not on their creator fund. So there should not be any commercials when I'm talking, as far as I understand. So the only way that they can put the commercials is if you agree to it and you say, yeah, I'll do it, and make money off the commercials that they put on. Or a lot of people go find other products that they can sponsor. So if they're gonna sponsor whatever, like if I was gonna do some, I would probably have to do with minerals and copper and stuff like that. Which I just had another person come into my thing and go, oh, I love your white hair. That's so pretty. How it's on the sides like that. It's like, man, people are so fucking shallow and superficial. I mean, you're telling them about your hair changing. And then I even said, yeah, well, it used to be a lot more. Now it's going away. It's like, people think like, why would you want to get rid of something that's so beautiful? Well, it's a sign that I have a mineral deficiency, and a mineral deficiency is what ends up killing you because you are aging and you can't fight any sicknesses because you're so depleted because you don't have any minerals, barely even have any nutrition. Matter of fact, you're full of fucking chemicals. And somebody was asking me, well, what do you do to get rid of the chemicals? You have to start paying attention in your house. You have to notice, what do you bring in your house that has chemicals? Like there's some people who are so sensitive that they shouldn't even have any cleaners or any of that stuff, but they don't know, and they're probably going and having diagnoses and being on meds and stuff. That but I mean, it's fucking laundry detergent is full of shit. The things that you put in the dryer sheets are full of stuff. The fucking soap you wash your hands with, the soap you wash your dishes with, your food. Like if you have food that is processed, if it is half made for you, bet your ass is full of chemicals. And so those are the things where you got to start noticing. That's why you got to start going back to basics. Going back to basics on your cooking. Cook from scratch. Don't have stuff that they've semi-cooked for you. Just cook from scratch. It's so much better for you. So much healthier. It doesn't have all the additives. And you will see a difference. You'll see a difference in your weight. I swear to God. And Because I keep on thinking, my kids are going to see me again and they're going to be like, um, oh my God, mom, you're so skinny. And there's always the story, I'm anorexic. And so then it's like, fuck, I eat all the goddamn time. I'm fucking eat pie and cake and cookies and potatoes and bread and butter, all that shit. Um, it's because it's made from scratch. It's because I'm not going and buying like cookies from their stuff because it's whatever. The additives fuck us up. And so, and then the other thing is I don't drink or go out to dinner, to restaurants, because going out to dinner to restaurants, that is, I think they just put tons and tons of fattening stuff in it to make it taste good. And then alcohol, like before when I used to, my last alcoholic husband, and who wanted to have a drinking buddy to sit with, and have a glass of wine, sit there, and a glass of wine turns into a bottle of wine in no time. And um, but when it was down to where I was just like drinking a glass or two of wine a night, it was still like, I think I was like 30 pounds heavier from that. And so it adds on weight that you don't want. I mean, not very many people are like, well, I really would prefer to have a lot more weight on. Most people are like, God, I want to shed some of this off of me. And I've seen a couple of these videos. I don't know why. It just is something sad about it. Because these are young girls, young moms who are extreme obesity. And they do these videos. And I it is like some of it's about cooking or talking or whatever, but I don't know. It's just something in like I feel like that there's young girls who, like, for instance, they had a baby, start gaining weight, and they probably started finding comfort in eating and stuffing their feelings, especially if they were in a marriage and they felt challenged. And then a baby, it's more challenging. So you find comfort in, stuffing your emotions. And then pretty soon you're uncomfortable, you can't get around. Then you feel like you lost it. People start saying mean stuff to you. Then you protect yourself more. And I just feel like there's so many girls that kind of feel trapped, like trapped in a prison that is created and they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to heal. They don't know what they're doing wrong. It makes me feel like I want to cry. Because I think there's just so many people are so confused. Like, why it's not working? What am I doing wrong? And it just has so much to do with everybody's got to heal their trauma. You got to heal your trauma. That's the only way to learn how to love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you're going to be in better shape. You're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to, it's almost like demand more from yourself. And when people don't, it's because that they don't believe in themselves. They don't, I don't know. I could feel like I could go as bold as say, they just don't love themselves. They just don't care about themselves. I think a lot of people are even just kind of mad at themselves or disgusted by themselves. Like they wish they could be somebody different. And it's like, you got a great person inside. You got somebody great in there. You just got to get through all the muck, man. You got to fight to find yourself. You got to push through. I know it's going to be like a huge relief when the tables turn and everything flips, because there's going to be so much more information. There's going to be so much more of our conversation about healing and how to heal. But there's still going to be so many people who, are not. I saw some other creator girl saying that, I think she was a tarot person or something, and she said that there's a lot of people saying goodbye right now. So I don't know. I haven't had anybody calling me and saying, their goodbyes or anything. If anybody does, could be their soul just telling them, and they just want to make sure and say goodbye. So, say your goodbyes to people. Tell them how much you love them and stuff. Don't just blow it off. Because if there is people saying their goodbyes, it probably is because they're feeling like they're going home. And remember, this is so fucking important here because I see people traumatized day after day after day over people leaving the game. They're motherfucking leaving the game, going goddamn home. They're going goddamn home, and you're so sad. Oh, God. Oh, what are we going to do? It's like, we got to start celebrating. You know, when somebody completes the task and they get to go home, why aren't we celebrating? Why aren't we getting excited for them? I mean, it's one thing when you are their family or you are somebody who's connected who has to go through the loss, because the loss, you have to go through that period of extension of learning, so that it's readjusting how you look at things, really. And so, that has an effect. So there's a reason. But for all the other people, like so many people just panicking and panicking. Oh my God, people are dying. Oh my God. Oh, feels like a bug just went on my nose. Oh. And it's like, if you're not being, greatly affected by somebody who is passed, we got to be more supportive, more excited, more like, oh my gosh, and stop thinking that we're never going to see them again. It's over. They're dead. They're gone. It's not the way it is. It is, we're all connected. We all meet up again. This is not the end. And that's part of the illusion, though. That's part of what you have to fight against. I mean, it does feel like, it's definitely stressful. Just listen how quiet it is like right now. When it does that, it just gets super quiet. It's like the day the earth stood still. And look at all the smoke still. Like, is this still this guy's burn pile that you're not even supposed to be having? He left. He's doing his burn pile. He just leaves. Don't leave a fucking burn pile. Like, what the hell? Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if people are just like, I don't know. I mean, that is one of the things, too, that's trippy is like, fuck, man. Through all this chaos, I gotta fucking drive 2 fucking hours through goddamn traffic and get downtown to Seattle and then drive back. It's like, whew, I gotta just be on top of it. I've just gotta be paying attention, and I'm sure it's gonna be intense. Every time there's been intense, like, there's crazy drivers out there. And I don't know. I mean, there's crazy drivers right here on this highway, too. Like, there was one when I was coming home yesterday, and it pulled out to pass somebody. It was like they weren't even going slow. They pulled out to pass somebody when somebody else was coming. Then they hurried and swerved over. Then this person pulled out. I was like, oh my God, what have we just got? A bunch of wackos just all like... So it's fucking intense out there. I don't know if people are just not paying attention. You got to keep remembering, though, nothing can happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. Like, it's not really like we're dodging bullets. Whatever's supposed to strike you will strike you. And then even though it feels like, well, if I run over here, if I go over here, if I do this, if I do that, I'll just, get away. No. Whatever's meant to find you will find you. So you're kind of, being a dead horse if you think you can run from the inevitable. Is it will always find you. So but and then also I think it's just important to, whatever goes down, to remember, like, okay, I can handle this wouldn't be happening if I couldn't handle it, even when it's overwhelming as fuck. And there's so much. Like, so because I'm sure once I'm here and I'm sitting here, then I'll have a new stress. I'll be like, oh my God, they're going to come and evict me. I've got to start packing. Like, I don't know. I think that they're going to crash and burn. I think that I think they're coming in hard too. I think part of, Trump sitting in court farting and sleeping or something, I think that those are signs. Joe up there on the stage talking about his uncle getting eaten by... Because now I guess he's obviously pissed off the New Guinea government too. So they're saying, we're not cannibals, and they're getting mad. And does Jesse Walters, or he's a Fox News anchor or something, he he did a story on it saying, they start wars over this kind of stuff. So we got that coming and everything. Like, he's going to start a war. He's got this going. They pulled him back. He was supposedly in Delaware. They pulled him back to the White House. Okay. Was it for a showing? Like, it's on Zillow. So they pulled him back to the White House because they had to deal with something. And I'm thinking, this has got to be a part of the whole big thing going down, the crimes that he's done all being disclosed and him going down, and who knows what his final words will be, if it will be the uncle this uncle scenario story. He's always just making up shit. I wonder if the real Joe did. I wonder if the real Joe is just always making up shit, if he's just a big old hairy liar or something. I know he was a real scumbag. I mean, they're showing his truth, They're not just making fun of him. They're destroying his legacy because he was so rotten. So, they wouldn't be taking a good person and destroying their legacy. Oh, yeah, and also, that fucking speaker guy, the Mike Johnson, how there was all that whole big thing. And there was another one, too. Who was that? Can't think of who it was, some other politician, but it was this stuff is coming out with this illegal, these illegal adoptions and these certain judges that were putting stuff through. Well, he's on there, and he's a single gay man who was able to adopt a young boy. And there's another one too. So yeah, because it was like, okay, this guy's got to be involved in something, because I've never heard of him. What's he coming on the stage? What's this all about? When they're coming on the stage, it's to disclose, it's to pull, it's to show us stuff, and a lot of people, they get all freaked out, like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We're all gonna be in the Civil War. I don't even know at this point. I know some of the people are kind of freaking out, like the government people, and it's like, because you got that government group, you got the medical group, but you got the I don't know, the celebrity watchdog people. Because those ones, I mean, they go off like on some stuff. So I don't know. There's a bunch of groups that are, real focused on the stuff that scares them, and just keep focusing on that. So there's going to keep being big stories, big jolts into all the information, and they'll keep being weird things like the same thing with Mexico. They're gonna, because I guess the airport is filling up. They're kicking them out. They're kicking all these Americans out, and they're saying they're destroying their economy. They don't pay taxes. They're driving up the prices for people can't afford their own stuff. That even happened in where was that? I thought it was so fucking outrageous. It was someplace, I don't know if it was like Italy. It seemed like it was someplace in America or something. But it wasn't America. But so it was it someplace by Mexico or Guadalajara or something? So it was someplace where there's a lot of tourists and stuff. And I swear to God, it was in Mexico. And they're in like Guadalajara or something, but I could be off on the place. But so there's this restaurant there. And the restaurant is real, a hot spot where all these tourists and stuff go. And so it's got a lot of activity. And then it's got like apartments or something up. Kind of reminded me of New Orleans or something. Like the restaurants are down here, but then sometimes people live up above. And so it looked kind of like that. And so if somebody moved into one from a different country than this place and moves into this, which a lot of people can't afford to live in these areas because it's where the restaurants and stuff are, and they have to live out further. And so the people who can afford it, then they go move in, and they're from other countries. Then she's trying to shut the restaurant down because it's too fucking noisy for her. It's like, oh my God. people are so wacky to think they can just go to other countries, go to other places, just take over. It's about my needs. It's about what I need. It's all for my comfort. Well, this is a time to reestablish what makes you comfortable. You know, what things do you need? And do you need a padded room? Do you need everything to have bubbles and um, fairy dust and stuff for you to be comfortable? You need everything to be perfect? Can you not find any comfort? And then why in the fucking hell would you move up above a place that was that busy and then want to close it down? And then why wouldn't you fucking move? This is like wacky. But all this stuff is the stuff that has to kind of play out, has to kind of wake people up, has to get people to see and think for themselves. Like these storylines are there for us to question, to look at and be like, oh my God, that's not right. That's not right. And so that is what, you know, as when you're in the observation and you're paying attention to the different storylines, that's what you start to do, is notice and question. And that is what it's meant to do as far as I'm concerned. It's not meant to be like, oh, that woman's a real rotten piece of shit. You know, like, because somebody else would just do the same thing. It's not just her. It's a certain way that of behavior that we have established and allowed, that we have to say, hey, that's not cool. No, we have to be respectful of other communities and what they have going on. And I mean, an established restaurant, I think this restaurant's been like 35 years or something. It's so wacky. But that is, you know, just more and more wacky stuff. Like, there's so much wacky stuff. There's so much sad, wacky stuff. Like, fuck. Horrible, horrible things that people are doing to each other. And more, I don't know, there's more and more bodies being found, more and more horrible stuff. Like, there was always horrible stuff going. And I was just like, there's people weren't paying attention. Like, I'm still just dumbfounded by, there's people who really did not understand what was going on in the Middle East. Like, this is all new to them. And then for them to decide to come over here and cause problems for us. Like, there's just a lot of wacky stuff. So there's still, you know, stuff that has to continue to play out. So, and it's going to get more intense. It's going to get more and more intense. So just, you know, we could keep remembering just to go with the flow, just relax. Don't get all caught up, because there's so many people that get caught up and it's like, oh my God. I mean, there's people who are ready to fight, to give up, to, like, there's just tons and tons of different emotions. And just, you know, I think it's just important to just keep remembering that there's nothing that can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. Everything is fine. You're in a game. This isn't real. This isn't real life. You exist beyond this. This is an illusion. And the more that you start realizing it, the more that you can get comfortable and stop living in fear. So the more that you can work it out in your mind, like, okay, this isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real. And then, so you can relax. Because remember, this is about a mastery of your emotions, a mastery of your mind. And it's you, that's what you are. You are a mind, you're a consciousness. And so you are going through these battles in order to become stronger and more developed. So that is what you have to constantly be looking at when things are going on. Okay, how do I look at this? What is this? What can this benefit me? What can I learn here? How can I see this different? How can I, if I'm real caught up in it, how can I sit back and go into observation and go into trust and realize everything is fine, nothing can hurt me. This is all happening outside of me. This is happening for them. This is happening for them and them and them. Everybody has got their own storylines going. There's like an emerging, because we're all in this same space, in this reality. But the different people's storylines aren't going to just rub off on you. It's not like, because something happens to somebody, well, that could happen to me. No, it's not going to happen to you unless it's supposed to happen to you. And that is, I think, a super important thing. God, in my throat again. Super important thing to keep remembering is that nothing can happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. And so, anyways, let me think if there was anything else. This really is like it's constant goddamn attacks on my throat. I'm constantly getting attacked with sharp objects. I'm constantly getting things knocked out of my hands. I'm constantly getting something jabbing in my throat. It's like, motherfuckers. I'm always like, fucking archons. Like, fucking archons, fucking around. They're always fucking around. It's whatever, this dark energy that feeds off of our energy, who likes us to be stressed and likes us to, like, they want you to drop things. They want you to have a hard day. They want you to become exhausted. So don't let them push you. Just keep on remembering to take time, relax, take time to regroup. You know, this is big, big stuff that's going on. There's reasons why it's overwhelming and why it's stressful. And, you know, everybody's got all these issues and stuff. Like, definitely like a headache right now. It is, in the atmosphere and the energy, everything is changing. And so it's kind of like, I feel like kind of like if we were like scuba divers and we keep going way down deep and then coming back up and then going way down deep and coming back up, like how that would feel. And then how you got to do it slow so you don't get the bends. So anyways, you got to think about that is like, you know, even though it seems like there's nothing happening, there's a lot happening. And the changing vibration out of the density is, you know, lightening the load. And it does bring in all of this other kind of energy that you have to be able to process through, or you're going to be very uncomfortable. So anyways, you know, that's the daily lecture on how to conquer through this. How to get through it is, you know, just to relax and not get so caught up in it and go with the flow and deal with whatever you have to deal with. Deal with whatever comes your way. And don't get overwhelmed and don't get caught up in feeling like, you know, that, you know, you're going to die and cease to exist and it's going to hurt and stuff. You won't feel it. No matter what it is, you won't feel it. You'll pop out of your body. You'll pop out of the storyline. The storyline will have a completion for everybody who witnesses, but you won't be in the story. You'll be watching from the sidelines too. So just keep that in mind. You don't really go through these horrible big traumas that it looks like being tortured and all this stuff. Like, no, people don't go through that. They leave their bodies so they don't have to go through that. There's no reason to go through that. So anyways, whatever you're going through, you got to remember to love yourself, love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.